I want to talk to you without speaking.
I just want to start with, seriously, congrats to the both of you. You both did fantastic work in this.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to say thank you. You won't remember this, but I did 2 set visits on Bond. Both times you were so awesome.
Oh.
And I just want to say thank you.
That's my pleasure. Never happen again.
That I'm sure, I'm pretty sure of. But anyway, so one of the things about this is that Luca has been trying to make this since he was like 21. And he's also been trying to film at that studio in Rome like his whole life. What the hell was he, how happy was he, like every day on set to be making this? Because it seems like 2 huge dreams of his came together.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I mean, he led with incredible passion for it, and for the first time I met him, he told me, you know how long he's been wanting to make this film. I know I've never worked with Luca before, so this is the first time. So it just felt like there was a childlike quality to him. I think, you know, being at Cinecittà and you know, shooting in Italy and telling this story, just infinite kind of curiosity every day. So it was great to just be by his side through it.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I think that for all of us in different ways. I mean, I've shot in Italy before, but I've shot with, you know, British crews and on big, huge, great big movies. This was, this was all studio based, and I loved the fact that it was studio based. It meant that a lot of the magic that's in the movie is happening in camera, and it's all of those things that. And I think for Luca, it was a combination of many, many things. So to be there with him on that journey is kind of a major privilege.
So I love learning about the way actors prepare to step on set for day one. And I'm curious for the both of you, you know you're doing this project. How early on were you like thinking about everything and breaking down the script and inhabiting these characters, and how much, like, what's that process like for both of you?
What was it for you? You were...
Well, I met Luca, it happened very quickly once we said we were going to do it. So I met Luca probably about 6 months before we started shooting, and we had a couple of meetings, and I was like, well, I'm in, let's do this. And then things started to really move very rapidly after that, and next thing we're in Rome. I would say kind of the proper prep's about 4 months. At least I start really seriously thinking about it, like kind of properly kind of just weighing it up. And it's the accent I'm working on and just getting all of that kind of right. But that's just quite technical at first. And then the kind of last 2 months are sort of really digging into it and trying to sort of prep yourself as much as possible for that first day when everybody on set's just shitting themselves. So, you know, and that's included the director and then the producer and the camera person. And, you know.
Can I ask, I'm just fascinated. Is it when you're prepping, is it like a Monday through Friday, every day, like you're treating it like a job? Is it sort of like at certain points, like I really want to know.
It's pretty much like that. I mean, I will give, I always love those, writers I know who are just so disciplined, and they get up at 6 and they have their coffee and they have a think, and they're writing by 8, and you're like, you know, they do 2 or 3 hours, and then you're like, wow. I mean, it's every day. It's Monday to Friday. I don't work at the weekends, but I will, during that, my Monday to Friday, will put in at least 3 or 4 hours just sitting behind the desk, sometimes just thinking, and then other times just, you know, literally going through line by line, thinking about what I'm going to do. Yeah, I mean, you want to be as prepared as possible, and then you get there and you forget it all.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, yeah.
Can I add, and your process?
Same. I mean, it's also individual to a project. You know, this is a, you know, it's kind of unique to anything you do, but. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, at least for me on this, there was a lot of, it was like by way of osmosis in a way, you know, just meditating on it and kind of emotionally preparing yourself, getting into like emotional states like throughout the day. And I had something very kind of, you know, technical or tactile to latch onto and you know, losing some weights. And so that was something I could practice every day. And then, yeah, but then by, you know, the first day, your heart is pounding and you forget how to talk and move your...
Yeah, like, move your limbs.
Yeah, you're like...
Yeah.
freaking out. But
When during the making of this, which shot or sequence ended up being like a real challenge to film, whether because of a camera move, dialogue, or emotions in the scene?
that's a good question.
Well, how are you going to answer it? Might be a good question, but let's hear it.
My mind went to the day on the beach in Sicily when we were running.
That's the problem. Is like you can only remember sort of like puerile shit.
I know.
It's like, you know, there was a beach we're on, and it's like this beautiful beach we're in Sicily, and these nasty like barbs that are scattered, they're plants scattered all over the beach. So it's like run over there, and you can like run and go, ow, ow, ow. That was like, you know, that was it, and cut, and you're just like pulling these things out of your feet. That's kind of what it is. I kind of get the emotional stuff. I mean, is that what you kind of mean, the kind of emotional? I mean,
well, I'm always curious because there's always, again, I'm not an actor, but I've spoken to a lot of actors and directors, and they always say there's one scene that ends up being like, you know, like the camera move, the emotions, like whatever it may be. There's usually something.
For me, it was our last day of filming, and seeing Daniel walk in to set in this kind of old age prosthetics, full body prosthetics. And watching him kind of walk onto set and the whole crew getting silent, and him sitting in his room and then going to his bed and laying down was incredibly emotional. I mean, I was very emotional on that day. It was our last day of filming. It was our last scene, and I think that it kind of wrapped up the entire process of it so beautifully. You could feel the weight of that day and the presence that he had. That's a day and a scene that I'll remember probably most.
Yeah. I don't think in that way. I really don't. I just don't have, I'm not being a diarist while I'm writing, while I'm working. I kind of just don't, it doesn't go in. I'm kind of like, I'm moving on all the time. So nothing really stays with me.
Right.
I'm kind of like a goldfish. Like, I just can't, you know, so it's hard when I look back on a film and sort of like go, what was harder than another day, or what stayed with me? It's like it all just stays with me, kind of just as one, like, kind of just one huge experience. It's like, I think probably we were sat having a few beers and I could sort of loosen up my memory a bit, things would start coming back, but it's just, I don't retain those thoughts in that way.
I gotta go. I'm just gonna say congrats on the movie. Again, you both did such great work.
That's very nice.
And have a fantastic, there we go.